Welcome. Right. So today's lesson we're going to talk about is the project, and we're going to let's talk about arrays. So here we go. The project that you're going to have to deal with is to investigate some engineering problem that you have, and you will have to either work on your own, or you can work as a pair, 2 students, or maybe 3. We'll go to a maximum of about 4, all right? And then you'll have to come up with an idea of how you're going to solve this problem using what I've taught you in programming, all right? So in terms of, you can choose a topic, the question, you work on it, and I'll give you categories in how you're going to operate, all right? So you can either, if you wanted to, students in the past developed and designed a robot. I'll show you my robot as well. I love my robot. I got it in the car. Or you can have, an app sheet or PHP or website. But I want you to use programming concepts. So in this program or this project, where you're going to find, maybe it's something that you read in the newspaper, or you saw it on television, or on the internet. Or maybe you have a problem in the community and you think you can solve it by creating and developing a program using the tools and techniques that I showed you in C++. Programming has basically assignment, they have decision making to take place, and they have a looping structure. So you can come up with this, right? And then I'd like you to tell me, why did you do this project? Basically, your rationale, how you'll go about gathering information about this project, and ultimately to collect the data on the project and to discuss with me what you found were your results in the project. All right? So I'll need to have a write-up. Your project should have a title. For example, I'm not saying this is what you need to do. You're going to say, there's a problem in the community where I live, and I want to develop an app using C++ programming. And the simple program is going to ask questions, and I'm going to get the computer to answer the questions. It's like what you did in the Scratch project, but that was totally on climate change. In this example, if you want to use climate change, by all means, go ahead and do that, all right? I'd also like you to have some references, what you use. For example, maybe you use the wschools.com website, include that as well, all right? And I will inform you in due course how you will submit the project. Okay, any questions for me? Anybody with a question? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Question. Anyone? Hello? Anybody with a question? I'm going to upload the project file to our chat group. All right, so let's go to the desktop. And where's my project? Right, so you can have a look at the chat. That's where the project specifications would be. Right, I'm putting my video on. Anyone can see I'm in the kitchen. Rodney, you want to say hello to my students, Rodney? There, look at there. There's A. Langa, X. Dube, S. Ngobe, J. Wellen. And you see Rodney in the background, he's just opening the tap over there. Please say something. He may think that I'm talking to myself all the time. Come on. Oh, Rodney, they don't want to talk to you, Rodney. You can unmute. I'm allowing you to unmute for a few seconds. Or can you unmute? You're not? Okay, I'll talk. Okay, that's fine. Hello, Is someone saying something? Okay. Okay, I'm going to mute you guys if you're going to give me some background feedback. Okay, right. So let's go on now. Let's go on. I'm going to switch my video off. And let's go to WT schools, right? Alrighty. So I'm going to attach the project specifications into our group. Let's see, we're into our WhatsApp group. And well, it's called COM201. Don't worry, it's the same similar project that I used for COM201, but I'm using it for you guys as well. All right. Righty. Please stop muting me. Someone's playing around with the mute button here. I'm going to mute all of you because I'm the organizer. All righty. Now I've right. Let's go and share the screen. We're going to W3 schools again. Right, we're going to talk about an array. What is this thing called an array? Right. There we go. Let's read what it says. It says, arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable. So I mentioned to you that we have data structures in programming, right? So programming courses, you have data structures. And one of the data structures that they talk about is an array. Now, if you have to tell someone that you studied programming and you didn't hear about an array, then they'll ask you, did you really study C++ programming? Or were you just lying to us, right? And then you can tell them, well, an array is a data structure that is used to store variables that are similar in nature. In fact, they're almost the same thing, right? So here's an example of an array. Cars is an array. There are 4 elements inside the array. All the elements of the array are declared to be string. This is a new data type I also mentioned to you. Earlier on, I spoke about string, about integers. Then we spoke a little bit about float. We spoke about double. And now we're going to talk about strings, right? String. So there's the data type. I'm declaring string. The variable for the array is called cars. There are 4 elements in there. And each element, in this case, Volvo. Oh, I like a Volvo. I got a Volvo. BMW. Who likes a BMW? There's a Ford and Mazda. So there are 3, in fact, 4 cars, if you can think of that, in the array. We could have also had integer values stored in the array. Here's an example of the array, my_num, and we have 3 integers, 10, 20, and 30. My_num is declared to be an array. All of the values there are integers. Okay, are you cool with that? Anybody with a question? Please feel free. Stop me. Sometimes I think I'm talking to myself all the time because nobody asks me a question. Or is it that I'm so good that I explain it to you so easily and so nicely you don't think you have to ask me a question? But please feel free to ask me a question, okay? Right. So where was I now? There's it now. In order to access the elements of the array, I need to access the subscript. So let's look at that. In terms of cars, the Volvo is at subscript position 0. BMW is at position 1. Ford is at position 2. Mazda is at position 3. So basically what I'm saying is I start counting from position 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. Now this is a weird concept in programming where we start counting from position 0. Okay? And again, you can think of it like this. If there are no people in a room, in mathematics, we'll say it's 0 people. In English, we'll say it's empty. So in programming, I kind of think of counting from position 0. But the number of elements in the string, the number of elements in an array, you have to include the first position. So right now I will say there are 4 cars stored in the array cars, but Volvo is in position 0, BMW is in position 1, Ford is in position 2, and Mazda is in position 3. So let's go try it. Let's see what happens out here. So right now it says include IO stream, include string. Look at that. We have to now use the variable declaration type string because we're using cars. We're going to include it and it says see out cars. So if I had to change this value to 1 and I said see out cars position 1, it should generate BMW. And it's compiling, BMW. You see that? Isn't that cool? Don't you like it? If I had to change and I had to say see out cars and I said subscript 3 and I run the program, it should give me Mazda. Right? It should give me Alrighty. Right, sorry about that. Let's go on.
So your mic is muted.
Thank you. Am I back online? Okay, great. So let's go back. Thank you for that. Right, so in terms of my array, I need to access the elements 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, let me take a short break and I'll actually go and sit in the car. right? Because you can hear lots of background noise out here, right? Hello everybody. Right, sorry about that. We've got some guys putting in some burglar guards for me, and they are drilling and they're making so much of noise, and I can't concentrate. All right. Hopefully I'm still with you. Oh, great. So let's go back to our array. Let's beautify this a little bit. There we go. So to recap, an array is a data structure that stores elements that all have basically the same type. So you're going to find strings such as Volvo, BMW, Ford, Mazda. They are all would have some similarity in terms of all of them are cars. And the data type that we're going to store in them are strings. And for me to access the array elements, I will access it by means of its subscript. All right, so let's run this program. Now it should give me subscript position 2, which is 0 is Volvo, 1 is BMW, 2 is Ford. All right. Aha. Now let's look at the next part of an array. How do I change an array element? This is an assignment statement. So let's look at this example now. Here I have cars that are Volvo, BMW, Ford, and Mazda. And I want to change element 0. That means whatever the element was in array subscript position 0, I want to now take out Volvo and I want to put in Opel. All right. There's my assignment statement. Now, earlier on, we did an assignment statement and we did not have a subscript. We did not have cars subscript 0. We would have simply said cars is equal to Opel. In this instance, we now need to include the subscript. So I must now say cars subscript 0 is equal to Opel. If I wanted to change element position 1, I would have had to say cars subscript 1 is equal to BMW. If I wanted to change 0, 1, 2 position 2 Ford, I would have had to say cars subscript 1 is equal to Opel. So let's run this. Let's try this. There we go. It's Opel. By the way, let's say Toyota now. We don't want car subscript 1 is Opel. We want to change cars subscript 2, and maybe some of you like a Toyota. All right, so I'm going to say Toyota, T-O-Y-O-T-A, Toyota. Let's run the program. And this time I want to display what's in position 2. Run the program. Compiling, and it gives me Toyota. All right. Maybe I should put this in our WhatsApp group, right? Let's do that. Let's put that in the WhatsApp. Put that in the WhatsApp. All right, so let's put that picture. This is an array. We're talking about arrays in our WhatsApp. Right. There we go. There we go. Now, if we wanted to, I could have done the very same thing in my online C++ compiler. I could try it in the editor in W3 Schools, but you can also do that in our online compiler. And some of you may want to use code blocks. Okay. Right. Let's go on. How are we doing for time? Doing for time, we now, right. It's another 10 minutes or so. Let's continue with an array. What we're talking about in terms of array. Let's do an exercise. Create an array of type string called cars. So there's the question. I need to create this array. All right, so there's a question. Let's see anybody can do the answer for me. Anyone can give me the answer. This is going to be similar to the test. Oh, by the way, there will be a test, right? We'll have an online test. All right, anyone with an answer? And maybe I'll put it in the chat out here as well. All right, so there's a, let's post that. Oh, there's a question. Good day, sir. When is the project due? 16th of December. You've got 2 weeks to work on it. All right. Okay. All right, let's copy the example as well in the online compiler. All right. Okay. All right. So that it says create an array of type string called cars. So it's string and it's cars. Let's submit the answer. And let's show the answer. Yay, I got it right. Right, correct. Let's go to the next one. Print the value of the second element in the cars array. So I have this, I want to print the second element in the cars array. So this is string, it's cars, and I want to print the second element. Note, I start counting from position 0. So it's 0, 1, 2. But if I want the second position, I need to include 1. So see out cars subscript 1. All right, let's submit the answer. Correct. Hey, I'm on a roll here. I'm doing well. Change the value from Volvo to Opel in the cars array. So now cars subscript 1, because that's where I've got Volvo in there. And I want to make it Opel. Right, let's submit my answer. Oh no, not correct. Oh, I know why. Anybody with the answer? Capital O. Let me see now. Not correct. Oh no. Change the value. Oh, because it is position 0. Right, let's sum up the answer. Yay! Now I'm correct. Now I'm correct. Let's do the next one. Loop through the elements in the cars array. Okay, now I haven't done this with you. You will need to work on the loop. So that's what we're going to be doing on Thursday. On Thursday, we're going to talk about what happens, you know, us wanting to go through all the elements of the array one by one. All right, slowly we'll go through all the elements, and we need to use a for loop in order to do that. Okay, so I'm going to stop there right now. This is I'll put this as an exercise. Let's see anybody can answer this, because some of y'all are working ahead of us and you're able to maybe give me this answer on the WhatsApp group. Right, so there we go. Right, and let's see who can get that answer for me. Right, so I'm going to end there. Can we take our photograph as always? Oh, there's a question here. It says, sir, what's with the quiz on Moodle? Should we attempt it? Yes, please attempt the quiz. When will it close, and does it have a time limit? Yes, it does have a time limit. Yes, and it will close soon. So go ahead and try it. For now that it's open, please try it. That's to practice answering a quiz on Moodle. Lastly, when will we write the test? The test will be written around about the 2nd or 3rd week of December. Right? It'll be on C++ code blocks. Okay, can we take a photograph? Here's me sitting in the car. Can we go into gallery mode or full screen mode? Right. Oh, let's stop the recording. Let's stop the recording. You don't want to record all of this now. Stop the